What's happening?
BigTen Backers are live, buddy. We got Jamie the Duck. How you doing, Jamie?
Hey, I'm feeling real good tonight, man. I am.
It will not be long before Oregon's next game is going to be in the Big Ten, man. Are you excited about it?
Dude, I am pumped. I'm pumped for all the big matchups that are coming. I'm excited. I got the Ohio State game marked on my calendar. I can't wait to host you guys when they play. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I got it circled, man. It's going to be awesome. I want to be out there. I'm looking to be out there. But hey, for all you BigTen backers, anyone who's on here, please hit the like. Please hit the share. Come on and comment. We will get after those comments right after each segment. So come on and tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, how stupid we are, anything. And we will answer it. All right? Let's get into what's going on. We got some big shows for you, dump truck style. So our big topics today, it was Miller time for SC, baby. Miller Moss tosses up 6 touchdowns. A bowl record, a Holiday Bowl record. This is what happens when you lose your Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. You know, the guy that got you 7 wins single-handedly is what we thought, right? Like without him, without Caleb Williams, would they have gone bowling? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, all you do is you replace them with something that tastes great and is less filling, right? It was Miller time. Oh, and he just threw 6 touchdowns. No big deal. Man, he was moving well in the pocket, escaping pressure, holding onto the ball, even though pressure was in his face, making like off-balanced, weird angle, off-angle throws, sidearm throws. He looked like a seasoned veteran. No Heisman, no problem. SC has their man.
Man,
it's Miller time.
Ooh, welcome back, AJ. Thank you.
Perfect entrance.
Yeah. No, I'll be the first to tell you, I wrote them off. I said, no way. 17 transfers out. All the guys opting for the NFL. 0 chance. Like we said, we thought Caleb Williams was the man who brought them as far as they could. And I don't know. Miller Moss, I was not counting for him. And that might be the biggest reason that they're not getting anybody trying to come in. They're losing their 5-star quarterback, their freshman. They're not getting any transfer love when it comes to quarterback. Who knew? Miller Moss hanging out in the depth, just waiting for his time to shine, man. And I love the nickname Miller time. Like rolls off the tongue. How you better?
He's got other nicknames, right, AJ?
He does, man. He just mossed that entire bowl game. It's a Moss City boy. He's ready to roll, man. Not only is it Miller time, it's his time to shine at USC. I'm excited for him. USC fans may be a little delusional, though. I had seen some comments out there saying that USC is going to run the Big Ten next year because of Miller Moss. Y'all didn't have a quarterback problem. Y'all have a defensive problem.
Absolutely.
Quarterback's not the problem. So don't go too crazy, USC fans. But you got another one potentially.
Yeah, I say amen to that. That's a crazy statement. I get people being hyped. I mean, Louisville is a pretty good team. They were out some of their key guys just like they were, but you said it, hit the nail on the head. They did not have a quarterback problem. They had the best quarterback, in my opinion, in all of college football on their team. He proved it the last few years that he's the best. You take him out, you put in a guy who freaking played like the best in the country, but is that defense going to show up in the Big Ten? I don't know.
And speaking of hitting the nail on the head, Jamie, you got to have a big D when you come to the Big Ten, man.
Absolutely.
4 of the top 5 in the nation. Defenses, man.
It's easy to have the best defense in the nation when you're playing against the Big Ten West, though. Let's be serious.
Those are all Big East teams, all Big Ten East teams, except for
heavy offense,
except for Iowa.
Hey,
yeah, Miller balled out though, man.
Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Still, AJ. So we are bringing, though, the powerful offense from the new Big Ten West. You got the UW Huskies, you got the Oregon Ducks, USC Trojans, and even UCLA has been known for its powerful offenses. I think it's going to spruce it up. There's going to be some more heavy hitters, and those defenses are going to be tested.
Yeah, let's not forget, Ohio State can play offense typically. It's just not their year for offense, but typically they're damn good at offense as well. But let's talk about – we talked about Ohio State. Let's talk about Michigan. And Alabama players, they got something to say about this this Michigan scandal going on. Let's play some videos for these guys.
System that they, I guess they were taking signs from was they made it down anyways for the playoffs because of that. So honestly, I mean, when we get on the field, they're gonna have to play us anyways. So all that sign stealing is not gonna help them.
Say more about that catapult. What was that?
It's basically like the app will record like film off for practice and stuff like that, and they was like, I guess like looking at other people's like play calls, like their hand signals, like the first 8 games or something like that. So we wasn't able to we was able to watch film with the team, but like personally we can't watch film because like I don't know, some reason with Michigan stealing signs, but I'm not really too keyed in on that.
Your coaches told you that?
Yeah, our coach told us that probably like a week ago before we was like right before we were about to come here, like getting prepared for Michigan.
So on your individual tablets that you would normally be watching film on right now, you guys are not watching film.
Yeah, we're not allowed to.
All right, Steve, I know you want to hit this one, so hit it out.
I have to hit it, man. This is a fucking softball. You just threw me up a softball, bro. We talked about it before. There was illegal footage downloaded, obtained, hacked into from practice facilities. Most notably, Woody Hayes' facility was talking about this a long time ago. No one believed it, especially Michigan fans. They thought, oh, this is a big nothing burger. If Alabama is telling their players they cannot watch film, which is like 20 hours a day, man, they're watching film nonstop. I mean, 20 hours a day obviously is an exaggeration, but there's probably 5 hours a day that these players are watching video on their own time. I mean, the good ones are watching it more than that. If they're not doing that for a bowl game, for a chance at the national title, that's huge news. There's something to it, man. This is, there's smoke, there's definitely fire. You don't just tell your players, stop studying for the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is huge, right? There's been rumors going around that there's been some hacking going on. This is an indication that it has. And not only that, Nick Saban's telling his players not to watch film on their tablets because it's that serious. It's that real. Like, these guys know, and it's not just a rumor anymore. This pretty much validates all those rumors about them hacking into systems and stealing signs. Not only sending people to games, but actually hacking systems and getting signs.
I had it from a governmental source that it was happening a long time ago, and I talked about it. We talked about it on the Dogs Network before we were going live. We talked about it on our podcast. I'm going to put that shit together along with this video and show everyone. We were right for a long time.
You got any thoughts, Jamie?
No, I mean, it's nice to finally get some of this undisclosed. Definitely, you guys called it early, but man, it's like Beve is saying here, that is so difficult to prepare for a game and not be able to see that stuff on your own. The best players for the best programs are taking the time to watch film on their own and put in that work for trying to play for a national championship. And it's just crazy that we got to worry about that stuff this day and age. But I mean, that's life where we're at. And it goes to show, there's some validity to some of this stuff that they're talking about.
Yeah. Speaking about Jim Harbaugh, bring the center stage real quick so y'all can get a better look at it. The Simpsons got jokes, son. They're trolling on Jim Harbaugh, saying he's running the Jim Harbaugh Center for Competitive Imbalance. Man, and rumors are abundant. Low-level rumors. Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. I'm not going to say that that's a reality just yet, but they're rumors. And then when he talked about it today, if you guys didn't hear his press conference where he was asked about going to the NFL, he didn't seem like he was trying to say, no way, that's not happening. It seemed like he was trying to be political and beat around the bush a little bit. But man, oh man, things are getting interesting for this Michigan scandal. Is Jim Harbaugh about to jump ship? And what do y'all think about the Simpsons throwing these jokes down there?
The Simpsons are right with their predictions half the time, man. And if it smells like a rat, if it looks like a rat, it is a rat. He gone. They're getting hammered by the NCAA. They're just trying to get that title first, which I don't blame them. I think it's a smart move, man. Stick up for it. Let's go.
Yeah, Simpsons are good with their little subtle attacks there, and they're hitting the nail on the head there as well. Chargers, that'd be a great program to go for. I've been looking for my guy Justin Herbert to have a coach to lead him somewhere. Jim Harbaugh, Not a big fan of Michigan, but he's a pretty damn good coach. So see what happens there. I think the only reason it'd be enticing because money looks similar is you look at, is he going to get suspended with all this scandal going on? Is that coming? Is that something he's got to get away from? And I think that would be the biggest thing to push him to the NFL over anything else, because I don't think the Chargers are going to pay him more than you're looking at Michigan's going to pay him and doing that. But if you're going to be having all this stuff coming, you might not be collecting a paycheck here pretty soon, then NFL probably sounds pretty damn good to him.
I'm going to miss Jim Harbaugh if he does leave. I'm going to miss those shirtless escapades of him playing shirtless two-hand touch football with recruits, staying at recruits' houses, you know.
This is the last hurrah. It's not going to it's the last hurrah, man. It's over.
All right, we got one more little quick hitter for you, but then we'll hit some comments, say what up to some of the fans out there, some of our peeps out there. But anyways, Florida State quarterback Brock Glenn says if Florida State is the only undefeated team at the end of the bowl season, they should be considered national champions. What do you think about that, Jamie?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you look at it, so they're saying maybe Alabama wins it all or something like that, and then they'd have a loss on the season. You got Florida State being one of the only team without a loss. There's a small argument.
That ain't happening.
But I think, again, it just proves the statement of why some of these one-loss teams were picked ahead of them. If Alabama wins it all and they're a one-loss team, that shows why they were one of the best 4 teams in the nation. It shows why they were selected there. And so I see that as like it doesn't help their cause for why they're the best team in the nation. When you see that these other teams got in, and you're talking about a guy who threw for 55 yards against Louisville. You think that he's going to put up that win against Georgia? They're 19.5-point underdogs. I just don't see it. So I don't even think this hat holds any water on it. You know, I don't think it does.
To me, it's stupid. Why talk about it, right? Go out and beat Georgia and then talk about it. You got a monster at your door, and you're talking about what happens if you slay him. You better get your sword out. Better sharpen that blade because Georgia's right there. Because it ain't going to matter. You're going to get blown out by him anyway. And then there's nowhere to hang your hat. So beat Georgia, then hang your hat. Get your priorities.
19 points is generous.
There's a reason
they don't even have
very generous.
Yeah.
They don't even have their B team.
No.
Their B team guys are transferring.
Mm-hmm. This is the third.
Good luck.
Come on now, Brock. Come on, Brock.
Yeah.
Priorities right.
Well, I think it was 56 yards is what he threw against Louisville. You think that's going to slice against Georgia? Like, man, like you said, get the job done, then talk. And then we got a conversation. I think he knows he's not going to get the job done. So right now is the only time to talk. So.
All right, let's hit some comments, and then we'll hit a commercial break here. But what up, TJ? Appreciate the love, man.
Yeah. TJ always here, man.
Dominic Ambrose says, what's up, fellas? What's up, Dominic?
Dominique making his stop.
And then TJ, he agrees. Miller looked legit. That's no lie. Oh, yeah. We're educating your wife, Steve, on football. She's learning.
That's right.
Brandon's got a question for you. Since basketball gets a non-ACC Big Ten showdown, why can't football get a Big Ten SEC showdown?
Because they already got a Big Ten Pac-12 showdown. They're just in the same conference.
True story. TJ loved the Simpsons hit. It was a good one. Dominic Seto thinks that Hardball is going to the shit show Panthers. That'd be a marriage, wouldn't it?
I don't see it.
Khakis and dad shoes. But anyways, it's time to pay some bills. We got a commercial lined up for you guys. Enjoy it. Get yourself some Bones coffee.
Oh.
Sound the alarms. Something monstrously merry is coming to town. Introducing Bones Coffee's newest batch. Inspired by the giddy ghouls of Disney Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Nice work, Bones Caddy. Rich premium coffee infused with frighteningly festive flavors. The Pumpkin King, Santa Jack, Frog's Breath, Rough Weather, and Mudslide Boogie. Can't make decisions by yourself? Order them all. Bones also makes a perfectly marvelous gift for everyone on your nice list.
And your naughty list.
Click the link to get these hauntingly holly jolly flavors delivered right to your door. And it's not just for holidays. Bones has coffee concoctions for all 365 days of the year. Bones Coffee and Disney Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's terrifyingly tasty. This year, Bones Coffee will be yours!
Well, I'm ready. It's Big Ten roundup time. Just had my shot of Bones coffee, and now I'm super excited, man. We got some good games to talk about for you. We got number 9 Missouri taking on Ohio State, number 7 Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl, man. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. on ESPN. If you're an Ohio State fan, you've been waiting for this one. Maybe not because it's the playoffs, but you want to see what that backup quarterback can do. You've been wanting Devin Brown in this game since, I don't know, Wisconsin at halftime when McCord threw 3 interceptions. Somewhere around that time frame, you've been wanting Devin Brown. We are down with the Brown, and we're ready to see him take this game. But, man, he is not going to have the weapons McCord had. Trainum's gone. He's at Kentucky. Henderson's playing. Is Marv going to play? We don't know. Also, they're losing another wide receiver. He's on his way to Penn State, supposedly. Fleming's gone. So he's going to have to deal with this offense without some weapons. But I think all these Buckeye fans are excited. But to me, if Ohio State's going to win this game, it's going to come down to that defense. It's going to come down to the Silver Bullets. They got their hands full, man. There is a great running back that they're going to have to deal with. Cody Schrader from Missouri. Their wide receiver, man. He is freaking baller. Burton, he had 14 less yards than Marvin Harrison. So if you're Burke, Ignaboza, Hancock, y'all better play out, man. And JTT, it's your time, man. Jack Sawyer, you got to put some pressure on that quarterback because if y'all want to win and protect your young quarterback and let him ball out, y'all got to play defense. That's what I got on this game. What do you think, Beve?
Yeah, I mean, their quarterback's no joke, but I'm not too worried about the running back. I'm not too worried about Cody Schrader. Not against this defense. Although, against Michigan, that last 8 minutes, they decided not to play against the run. But Luther Burden, he is going to be the bigger burden, I think, for this team. And that quarterback, Cook, is a great quarterback as well. I see this game turning out much like it did for the Tigers against the stiffer competition in the SEC. And they're going to keep things relatively close. Devin Brown, he's really the deciding factor here. We had a lot of people on Facebook on our Pick'em graphic picking the Tigers, man. And some were saying by 10 points or more. And at first I was like, no way, dude. No way. Ohio State's going to win this 36-17. I fanboyed out on Facebook for a little bit. Taking a closer look, this team played well against Georgia, losing in Athens 30-21. They had LSU at home but lost 49-39. But then let's add in that game that they won against stiffer competition. They beat Kansas State with that bomb of a field goal, 61 yards to close out the game. Man, Harrison hasn't said he's playing, but he gone. He's not playing. There's no way. Man, that's just gamesmanship. If he was going to play, they would have already said it. So we got a backup quarterback, the running back that won the Biletnikoff, a Heisman finalist, out. Sounds bad, right? Now, I've had more time to reflect on it, and got to change my score. Fuck it. Brown's going to deliver, man. He changes this offense. He changes the dynamic. He's going to be able to run. He's going to open up the passing game. And I see this game 36-17. Prediction, Henderson goes wild. Brown changes the offense. Day is good with time to prepare. What do y'all think?
Hey, it's James.
I got the Bucks big.
Here's what I thought.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you. I would love to see Marvin Harrison Jr. play this game just to see what a different quarterback could do with him and really, really unleash him. But there's no reason for him to play. He's already got the top wide receiver spot in the draft. This is a no-win game for a college player headed to the NFL. Like, there's nothing to brag about winning this one. But for Big Ten fans, this is a big game. It's Big Ten against SEC. These are two of the top teams in either side here. And I mean, I see Ohio State finding a way to get it done. I see their offense getting figured out. They're hoping they got a Miller Moss sitting there like USC had and seeing if the quarterback of the future is there. I think there's a reason they haven't, just like USC, really pulled the trigger on a transfer quarterback. I think they believe in the guy they have there. I'm excited to see him. I can see Ohio State pulling this one out and believing in the guy that they have, and it's his time to put on a show. If he doesn't, I suspect Cam Ward's going to be calling them real soon. But I think Ohio State pulls this one out.
Hey, when you're talking about the nuts, be careful when you say pull it out, okay? Just be careful.
Yeah.
You don't need to see that.
Hey, the one thing you got to look out for in this game is Missouri is going to go for it on fourth downs. They are 8 for 12. That's 2/3, 66% on fourth downs this year. And they're going to play to win. They're not going to play to be conservative in this game. They got nothing to lose. If they beat Ohio State, man, that's awesome, for next year. It's a good carryover.
Off the cuff course predictions. I'm going to go Ohio State wins this one 34-28. What you got, Beef?
I already told you 36-17, bro.
Oh, okay. Never mind. You hit me. Jamie, what you got?
I got 28-21. It's going to be a tight one.
I like it.
Oh,
all right. Brandon Snyder says, if it's brown, flush it down.
I hope not.
Good one. All right. TJ, time for the Buckeyes to spank Eli Dorkowitz. Is he that dorky? He's kind of dorky. He also agrees that Harrison shouldn't play. And, Ohio State's run defense will shut Schrader down. I think so, too. But we're going to move on. We got another Big Ten team. We got Ole Miss and Penn State. Man, I've been looking forward to this game. It is the Peach Bowl Saturday, 12 p.m., man. Good game for Saturday. Little get you a little lunch snack.
Millions of peaches. Yeah, peaches for me.
We all like some peaches, man. Everybody like a little peaches. But anyway, 10-2 teams doing what they do in their respective conferences can't get over the top. But yet here they are, man. The third place finishers of their divisions and both the
perennial third place finishers.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Same story as all these other bowl games. Big misses, man. Chop Robinson's out. I would have loved to seen Chop Robinson in this game. They would need him, man. Like this Penn State defense against that Ole Miss offense, this would have been a super fun one to watch, especially with all these starters in. Chop Robinson, that's a huge miss for Penn State. Penn State needs this win, man. They need something to encourage the fan base. Another year they lose to Penn State. Another year they lose to Michigan. They lose to Ohio State. They lose Manny Diaz. The one charm that they probably had on this year they could hang their hat on was Manny Diaz, and now he's gone. I think Penn State absolutely needs this win. And Lane Kiffin, boy, is he loading up, man. If you all haven't paid attention to the transfer portal, he is bringing in everybody.
Yeah, he is.
This team can beat Penn State and then bring in all those guys. Watch out for this team next year, man. This is an intriguing matchup just to see where these teams kind of start out energy-wise next season. Because if Ole Miss can beat Penn State and bring in all that talent, woo, man. Oh, man. Quincy Judkins, though, against this Penn State defense. Interesting matchup there. What you think, Beef?
The same thing kind of with Ohio State's defense. I don't think the running back's going to do much against them. This defense is a real deal. They're going to shut down this running game. My intrigue, though, is how Drew Aller plays. Is he progressing in the few weeks off? It's almost like another fall camp, having those 3 weeks off before he goes back in. So it's vital for those new starters and those developing stars to actually develop and show that they've made improvement from what basically is their 1 year to the next year. I mean, this is like a new year, right? Literally, it will be. But the defensive stars are not aligning. They lost their D coordinator. He gone. But they have the nation's leading defense in sacks, 48 a game. They have the number one defense in terms of yardage, 223 yards allowed. First in the nation. Points per game, they're third. They allow 11.4 points per game. Chomp Robinson is out, and he should be, like you mentioned. But the outcome against this Ole Miss up-tempo team, they're 18th in points per game at 34.8. I don't know. I think what really turns the tide for me in this game is having the defensive coordinator gone. Penn State's got a couple people out. I gotta give this to Ole Miss, man, just by a hair. I really want Penn State to win, though. I'm rooting for them.
Yeah. Huge. Go ahead, Jamie. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you. I think this is a close game. It's kind of a hard one to pick. I think like AJ's saying, if this was next year with the transfer portal and recruits Lane Kiffin's bringing in, I pick Ole Miss all day. But
Yeah.
it's not. I think Penn State, that defense we've been talking about, sure, they lose Manny Diaz, but I think that they still have some of that remnants there, and that's going to live on for at least this bowl game. I think they pull out a tight one. Penn State's the better team. Their quarterback's only thrown one interception on the season. I think that ball security right there with that defense, they just lock up a close game. I think Penn State pulls it out.
So my wife's from Mississippi. Some of her family went to Ole Miss. I don't think Penn State has the offense to keep up. Their defense is going to slow down Ole Miss, but their offense is not going to help them.
AJ,
Mississippi Rebels for the win, baby. That's where I'm going.
I got a stat to surprise you.
Go ahead, surprise me.
Penn State is scoring 34, or is 12th in the nation in points per game. 12th in the nation.
I got a stat for you too.
But they got like 0 yards.
I got a stat.
All of their points come off of turnovers from like the 10-yard line.
You ready for mine?
They are leading the nation in turnovers.
Oh, you're
in
not
turnover margin. Plus 18. Give me that
Go
stat.
ahead.
What do you got?
They are no longer undefeated in the showers. Northwestern also has a win on the board. That's all I got. All right, let's move on, man. Let's talk about the next game. It's not as exciting, but we're going to talk about it anyways. If Kenny was here, it would be exciting, but he is not.
Damn it, Kenny.
But Maryland Terps against the Auburn Tigers. Ooh, the Music City Bowl in Nashville. This should be somewhat of a fun one, if only Tagalua, I can't say his name.
Tungavailoa.
I know I say it right all the time, but it just kind of came out there wrong. But anyways, he's not playing. There is 13 combined attempts between the backup quarterbacks with his departure. That has to hurt Maryland. 13 combined attempts with the backup quarterbacks coming into this game. That is going
You're talking passing attempts, right?
Yeah. It's going to be huge, man. Talu he's been the man for Maryland for a long time now. And with his departure, I have no idea what this Maryland team is going to look like. This is Hugh Freeze, man, and he's doing work over at Auburn. He's recruiting his ass off. He's hitting the transfer portal. These guys have both played really good game against giant programs. Auburn almost took down Alabama, almost took down Georgia. Maryland gave Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State some trouble at times in that game. Interesting little undercard here. I don't know what Maryland looks like without Talua. Kind of the story of these bowl games. But, man, I don't know where to go. I don't know what the prediction is as far as who wins. But if they're going to need some quarterback to ball out and play. They're missing people all over the field too. So what you got, Beef?
Hey, before you go any further, you got the quarterback. He's out, right?
Yep.
You also got tight end Corey Dyches, who is a really good tight end, out, declaring for the NFL. You also have the interception leader on the team out, and Tarheeb still, he's out, and a linebacker out. All right, so there's significant people out for Maryland. But, man, the way the Big Ten has been playing, I look for Maryland to squeak this out. Auburn's a bad team. The Terps aren't much better. Auburn does have a bright future with Hugh Freeze. And let's be honest, everywhere he's been, he wins. I think just Maryland's better off right now. And with a quarterback who doesn't throw turnovers or interceptions or fumbles late in the game when it really matters, Maryland will go with a 2-quarterback system in this game. Billy Edward Jr., I believe is his name. And it's a little bit easier to pronounce than Talia Tungavailoa. But he has he has experience as a short yardage runner. So he's been in the game quite a bit, and he actually started a game when Talia Tungavailoa was out. The other is a 4-star Cam Edge, who's a redshirt from last year. All right, so redshirt freshman. I got him squeaking it out.
These type of games, like you said, without knowing who's playing in it, who's going to show up, we don't know if another Miller Moss is coming out or if another dud is coming out. It's hard to pick it. I think we're just throwing shit at a wall and see what sticks, and that's kind of where we're at with it. I mean, you look at Auburn. one of the most confusing teams to pick this year, where they go to the brink and totally we're going to beat Alabama if it wasn't for a 31-yard fourth down play. They get the win there, but the week before that they lose by 21 points to New Mexico State. Like you don't know what this Auburn team's bringing, and so it's just tough to pick. I mean, I'll give a prediction. I think Auburn wins just because I have zero idea who's coming in at quarterback for Maryland, but I think it can go either way. I'm going to be surprised whatever happens, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either way. I think Hugh Freeze is starting to thaw, though. He's starting to thaw that Auburn program, and a win here, man, you can oxidize it. You can oxidize this Auburn team moving forward. So I look for that to happen. I think they're ready to kind of explode, but I wouldn't be shocked if Maryland wins either. So I don't know. But let's move on, man. We got a lot of games to hit here. We got to keep on moving.
Keep on.
To get into the review portion, we're going to talk about Louisville and USC. Before we do, we're going to hit a couple more comments. We're going to try to make these quick because, like I said, we're kind of moving. TJ loves Ole Miss in that game. Steve, Lisa wants to know where your magnets are at.
Oh. I got some magnets for Christmas.
TJ says if Talua was playing, Maryland wins.
Yeah.
Dominic is going to be at the Music City Bowl.
Nice.
He's going to let us know. He's going to give us some insight on what happened. And he also says Hemby should have a solid game for the Terps. And let's talk about this game, though. Louisville, USC. We already talked about it, man. We talked about Miller time. Miller mossed up Louisville big time, man. 6 touchdowns, or was it 7 touchdowns? Or 6, 7?
6 touchdowns. It was 6 for sure.
He needed one more. That's right. He's right. He needed one more, and he would have set the all-time bowl or tied the all-time bowl record with Joe Burrow. That gives you the kind of night that he had. 1 touchdown away from tying Joe Burrow for all touchdowns in bowl games. Absolutely balled out. USC balled out. Like, just absolutely great game, man. Steve's over there holding up that Trojan helmet. But, man, oh, man, their defense still has some issues. Obviously, they made a great hire.
Trojan helmet, isn't that just a condom?
Yeah, pretty much. Running back Garindo for Louisville, man, and a former Badger. Too bad they let him go. Had 161 yards, 3 touchdowns as he tried to split up that USC defense and bust those Trojans, but couldn't quite do it because of Miller Moss, man. They went crazy in the second quarter. USC grabbed 21 points in the second quarter. They had only grabbed 21 points throughout the rest of the game, but that second quarter, they went in, son. And that kind of dismantled and discouraged Louisville moving forward. What you got, Jamie?
Yeah, no, I mean, this was a good game. There hasn't been a ton of amazing games this bowl season so far, but this was one of them where it in the fourth quarter was a 1 touchdown game, and in that early in the fourth quarter too. So there was a lot of time left. USC pulled away, going up by 14, but Miller Moss, he came in. It's Miller time, as we talked about. He came on, put on a show, and he was the difference. They do got defense to work on. They got ran over the whole time. If you expect to go to the Big Ten and go up against the rushing teams that are there, good luck, because there are guys all over the place that can run the ball in the Big Ten. And so you got to get that worked on. Quarterback's not going to fix your whole program. You already had one of the greatest to do it, over the last decade. So, yeah, great game. It was definitely worth the watch. It was a better game.
Hey, Jamie, 6 touchdowns to 4 different receivers. Ty Washington, who declared for the NFL draft, played in this game. Mad props to him for playing while everyone else was sitting out. He had 7 receptions, 99 yards with 2 touchdowns, going out a champ. And, man, got that eggnog dumped all over him because of some of the stuff he did, man. Riley took it like a champ. You were wondering how he would take that prissy boy Riley. But, hey, man, being a Duck, did you root for USC? Did you root
Absolutely
for those
not.
Trojans?
No, absolutely not. I'm not rooting for USC. That's the team you don't root for. I mean, as a Duck, you don't root for Huskies and you don't root for USC. And I have more respect for the Huskies than I do USC because they play some damn good football over there in Seattle. But I can't say that for USC. They don't know how to play both sides of the ball. So I'm not rooting for them.
All right,
Hey, they're coming into the Big Ten on a positive note.
They are. Let's hit another couple comments, and then we're going to move on to the next game. TJ says, I'd rather have eggnog dumped on me than that nasty ass mayo.
That looked disgusting. I watched that. That was disgusting.
Yeah, no thanks. Mayo, ugh, that sounds so bad.
No.
That's just a waste of eggnog.
Ugh.
I'll be drinking that shit.
Let's hit the next game here. We got Rutgers and Miami. This one just finished not too long ago. Big Ten keeps on winning, man. Still undefeated. How about Rutgers? Our man a guy. We've been talking about him all season and how he's dominated running the ball in the Big Ten, how he's kind of helped turn Rutgers around. He goes crazy in this game. He goes in. So I'll let Steve talk about the stats here in a bit, but he is the guy. There's a reason his name's Man a Guy, because he's the guy. He went freaking in. He danced in hurricanes, man. He ran right up through those hurricanes, left them in New York with cleat marks all up and over them fools, man. He was going down, having a good time. What about Greg Schiano, the piano man? Man, he knows how to hit the keys in Rutgers. He is the man there, man. Like, he's doing work. Their first winning season since 2014. How about that? These guys, man, not to go Forrest Gump on you, but Greg Schiano and Rutgers goes together like peas and carrots. Telling you, man. I'm excited for Rutgers moving forward. Miami scored with 27 seconds left in this game to make it a one-score game. This was total domination by Rutgers. This was a 14-point game, despite the score saying it was a one-score game. Ever since they had that punt block recovered in the end zone for a TD by Timmy Ward, this game was over from that point, man. They took the lead there and never looked back. You got anything to add, Steve?
I'm impressed with Rutgers. I mean, it's kind of like what we said in our last podcast. They're going to bring that workmanship attitude. They were going to bring those lunch pails, and they were going to be chopping wood, and they did. I mean, that man, a guy had that 40-yard touchdown. Do you see where he dove and he stuck out the wrong hand and hit that pylon like he almost scored? I was like, damn, if he would have just stuck the ball out and scored that touchdown, that was a sweet move. Anyway, Jamie, what do you got on this game? Did you watch it?
Oh yeah, I watched it. Anytime I can watch Mario Cristobal lose a game, which is often, I'm happy to take part in that. I called it on Tuesday. I thought Rutgers had the heart. I thought Mario couldn't game plan, and their quarterback. You know, you're going to be looking in the wanted ads again this week for a new quarterback because they just didn't have it in the wing right there waiting. So. Expect them to go after Cam Ward hard after that game. And I hope he doesn't go there because that's where quarterbacks go to die is under Mario Cristobal. So, I mean, Rutgers, again, showed the heart. Like you said, 14-point game. It wasn't a 7-point game. They pulled it out, last-second score, so to make it close. But they definitely manhandled them. And, heck yeah, Rutgers, way to put up a win there.
And Rutgers at the end of the game took a knee, and Cristobal was like, "Are you allowed to do that?"
Nope. Yeah.
Is that legal?
Fumble it to the other team. What happens here?
Man, a guy had 163 yards, 6.5 yard average, 25 attempts. He only had one touchdown, but man, he's coming back. He could go anywhere in the nation he wants to. Stayed at Rutgers. He's going to do big things next year, man. I look for Rutgers to really be a good team.
All right, Matt has landed. Matt is here. In from Vegas.
We got Seattle, Matt.
So we gotta speed this up, man. We got a couple more games to get into, so we can get Matt up in here. But let's pay some bills. We got another commercial for you. Time to get things spiced up. Get a little spicy in the comments. Start talking to us. It's Dano's time.
Yum, get you some. Yum, yum, get you some.
Seasoning, food's favorite flavor.
Yum, yum, get you some.
I'm Joe Burrito, your favorite burrito. Whoa, whoa.
Joe,
hey.
We all know you're the best.
What?
You can always do better. Try the new Dano's Hot Chipotle.
Hey. Ooh, that's spicy. Yum, yum.
Yum, yum, get you some.
Welcome back, man. Get spiced up. Get that Dano seasoning. It goes great on everything. But like I said, we're going to move on. We're going to trim the landscape. We're going to talk about some of these games outside of the Big Ten. And first up, man, Georgia versus Florida State. What do y'all got on this game? What do y'all think, man? I think this is a beatdown. Florida State can barely get a team together. Third-string quarterbacks there. Rock Glenn, he's already running his mouth. We talked about that earlier. Keon Coleman, he's done. He's heading towards the draft. Verse, they're devastating, talented defense end that could change any game. He's sitting out. He's heading to the draft. People are in the transfer portal. It is crazy. And Brock Glenn wants to talk about if they finish undefeated, they should be national champions. Georgia hasn't lost consecutive games since 2018. Don't think they're going to start now. Obviously, they got some losses too. I think Bowers is sitting out. He's trying to get healthy for the draft. But these guys are ready to play, man. Georgia's still motivated. They run a tight ship program there, and they're ready to beat the brakes off of Florida State. Brock Bowers, he would be playing this game if he didn't have health issues this year. That's how dedicated that team is to winning. And I don't know, man. If it wasn't for – I wish this game was happening next year because these two teams would be in the playoffs, and we would have an epic playoff game because none of these people would be sitting out. And no, I know
That's
Jordan Travis would still be a crutch, but it's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame we didn't have the 12-team playoff this year because this would be a matchup, man. Like, if you would have told me about this matchup 4 weeks ago, I would have been drooling. Like drooling. We all would have been drooling. But now with the transfer portal and the draft and not being in the playoffs, it turned this game into more of a dud, and it's a damn shame. But that's all I got. What you got, Beve?
Can you think about this, what it would have been like if this was a bowl game in the 90s, in the early 2000s? Hell, even 5 years ago. How awesome this matchup would have been. I mean, I know Florida State's been down, but still, Georgia and Florida State, two name brands, everyone's going to be watching. Everyone. And now I'm just like, I don't even know if I care. I don't even know if I want to talk about. Florida State's entire team is sitting out. I mean, they can't even get a B team together like I talked about. Their backup quarterback is transferring. He's sitting out. They're on their third-string quarterback. Man, the excitement around this game should be much greater, but Georgia's just going to pound it. It's not going to be a game. It's going to be worse than the 19 points that they're giving Georgia. Worse.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jamie, you got anything to add?
Yeah, there's no Miller Moss in the waiting over here. It's Brock Glenn. We already got to watch him. 55 yards in the game that truly mattered. There's no hope. Georgia, regardless of who's sitting, they're one of the most stacked teams. They recruit at the top of the classes every year. They have people in the stables to bring up. They're a well-coached program that the next person up mentality. And like you said, they show up to play. They're ready for this game. Florida State is backing out and backing out fast. At one point, I thought Florida State might decide to sit it out and protest because of how many players were already choosing to sit out this game. They
basically did.
Basically. And it's like almost like they feel like if they lose, they'd have no argument. But now they're giving themselves argument because their top guys aren't playing. The only chance they had is if Jordan Travis stayed healthy and all the players stayed in. You add Jordan Travis with that defense, they're a matchup against what Georgia had coming. But outside of that, this is not a game worth watching. And that's not the matchup we got. So moving on.
No, it's a shame. It's a shame. But you're right. Yeah. It's not the game we have. We have, as TJ saying right here, TJ saying is Georgia against Florida State's JV team. That's not a joke, man. Not a joke at all. He's being dead serious. Yeah. And then Troy wants to know if Michigan wins. We'll get into that on Sunday. Sunday we'll have a playoff show, so we'll let you know Sunday.
We're having a special. That's a good lead-in.
Special. And then Florida State to the Big. Troy wants to know.
Yes.
It's possible.
Yes. It's a lock.
Bring them.
It's happening.
It's a lock.
As soon as you hear something about North Carolina going to the SEC, Florida State's gone. It's happening.
I think Brandon has one of the best comments that we've had commented, because we've talked about this. Got to move the transfer portal open until after the bowl season.
I
absolutely
agree, man.
That would 100%
be amazing. It's good for 100%. The coaches because they're not trying to coach, prep a team, get their players ready, and roster manage at the same time. They can and
recruit
players playing in these games. Like this,
you had signing day just a week ago.
Yeah, exactly. Move signing day either to before the season or put it back where it was, and then put the portal open after the bowl season. Like this is simple math. Come on, NCAA.
It's
simple math.
Starts January 3rd or whatever, you know?
But thanks, Brandon. Like, that was a fucking damn good comment, Brandon.
That's it. Those are the comments you want right there, and they produce good conversation because that 100% needs to be after all these bowl games. We're losing the luster. Every game we're talking about is like, oh, another quarterback to replace, another, and we're not talking about the guys who are the backups. We're talking about the starters. They're all moving around, and it's tough. I want to see these guys. I want to see Dylan Gabriel be playing tonight. But
this is just common damn sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, who's making these decisions?
Easy math, man. 1 + 1 = 2. Come on, NCAA. It's that simple, man. You make it easier on your coaches that you're supposed to be taking care of in this league. Do it for your players, because I'm sure a lot of these players would love to play in these games, but instead they got to worry about their future. And I don't blame the kids for doing it, but move the portal over. Like, move it over. What's happening?
It's almost like
in January.
It's almost like the NCAA is a government institution or something. That can't make sense.
No one's running it.
Yeah. But let's move on, man. We got Oregon State and Notre Dame. Speaking of the NCAA and these dumb rules in the transfer portal and coaching moves, Oregon State is fucked. They're fucked, man. Like, their head coach is gone. Their top 2 quarterbacks are gone. People
their
are
conference
all
is
over
gone.
the field. Their running back doesn't know. Their conference is gone. Like, they're just in shambles, man. They have no idea where to go, what to do. They're in the Pac-2 with one other team. They're going to have a 10-game Pac-2 schedule. It's going to be great.
Did the Beavers just become Mountain West?
Just about.
They are, right?
Yeah. It's tough. I think, Beavers are a team that really doesn't lose a lot to the transfer portal on a regular basis. They keep their players. They don't lose roots. They have people who get locked in, but you lose your coach, you lose your conference. I don't blame a single player. That is not the team they signed up for. That is not the program they signed up for. And things are just drastically different than what they came on to play for. You look at DJ Ukulele, like, if they were in the Pac-12 still, if he still had the coach, I don't see him transferring out. I see him finishing out the ride that he started there. And they're a hell of a program to play for. They're just going to get lost in all the movement that's going on. But I feel for them.
We're missing one major point here about the Beavs. There was something else that they lost, and you can go to the Goodwill and check it out. The coach's gear, all that swag, is gone and at the local Goodwill in Corvallis.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you what, man, these Beavers are thirsty. They're parched. They lost their last 2 games to Washington and Oregon after starting off the season like super well.
Red hot.
They were super hot. And then boom, boom, loss. They need this win. And these Beavers are thirsty. But
they lose to UCLA too.
They're a beat up Beaver at the moment, man. Not only because of those 2 losses, but with everything we just talked about it. But Notre Dame, they can get this win, double-digit wins on the season. That's something a coach loves to hang their hat on. That's 10 wins if Notre Dame can get this win. They're dealing with some of the same issues. Obviously not that bad. They do lose a coordinator. They do have Hartman preparing for the draft, and they lost 3 starting linemen to the portal and to the draft. Like, they got some issues too, but luckily they're playing the beat-up Beavers, and it shouldn't be overly bad for them. But that's all I got on
beat up.
Anything else?
This is a hard one to talk about. I think Notre Dame lost a lot too in this game, and just having their quarterback out. Obviously, the Beavers have their quarterback out, so they're 2 quarterless. The Beavers have their second-string quarterback gone now too. This is a tough game to pick. It's one of those that's like, I don't know what to do. What do you got on this, Jamie?
They just lost their kicker to Oregon. Like, they don't have a team. It's gone.
Yeah, no one's playing in this game. I have no idea who. Estime's out. He's preparing for the draft. Hartman's out. He's preparing for the draft. Their 2 corners are out preparing for the draft. 2 of the starters on the line is preparing for the draft, and their center's out. Like, Lord, that's like 70% of their offense gone.
Yeah. AJ,
and the offensive line being out is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
go ahead.
We talked about this earlier, AJ. Like, if this was a regular season game, this is one we're all excited to watch. Now that we're in bowl season, everything's blown up, and these are not the same 2 teams because these were fun programs to at least watch this season. and they're just not it anymore. And so moving on, this is watch the highlight reel. And there won't be much, so we'll see.
They were so fun to watch this season. We went to 2 Notre Dame games.
Yeah, I went to one Oregon State game. It just happened to be playing the Ducks, but yeah.
All right, let's hit the comments, and then we're gonna hit another commercial break, and we're gonna get Matt in here. I think Matt's ready to rock and roll, man. He's sitting in the background. I can see him. He's just steaming. He's ready to move, man. But yes, NCAA, anything but simple. We agree. Troy says Oregon State's gonna shock the world.
I see it. Yeah.
Nah, it's not gonna happen.
Right.
No.
Florida State and Oregon State combined to play both Notre Dame and Georgia. That would be awesome. They might actually need it.
That'd be fine.
That's a good comment.
That is. Anyways, let's go. Notre Dame needs to join the Big Ten. No, they don't. I could do without them. It's fine. They've had too many chances.
I'd see Florida State, but yeah, you court somebody for too long, you grow uninterested, and that's kind of where it's at.
That's how I feel. We'll see how it goes, but obviously it could happen. But anyways, it's time for us to move on. We're going to get Jamie out of here. We're going to bring Matt in. We're going to play some commercials. Thanks, Jamie. We love you, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you joining us. Jamie the Duck, baby. He's going to start coming on with a new Oregon jersey every time he comes on, right?
Man, if my wallet could afford it, I'd be all about it.
Lord knows they make enough, that's for sure.
Uncle Phil, he don't sponsor me, but I'll take it.
He's going to have to.
Yeah, all right. Well,
all right, Jamie. All right, let's get these guys commercial, pay some bills, keep the lights on.
Icy Breeze is the world's first portable air conditioner and cooler. A premium ice cooler that doubles as an eco-friendly portable air conditioner. This is not a swamp cooler, just blowing air across ice. Over 60 parts and components allow Icy Breeze to achieve what no other product in the world can do. The secret behind the Icy Breeze is an innovative design that circulates chilled ice water through a heat exchanger in the lid, replacing the Freon used in most ACs. Fresh air is drawn from hidden vents in the top of the cooler, pulled across the exchanger, and chilled down to 35 degrees cooler than the outside air. A 3-speed fan control delivers Icy Breeze's dry, cold air up to 25 miles per hour, just like a car AC. And a stay-put flex hose directs the breeze in any direction. Wherever you need it, Icy Breeze helps you beat the heat.
Oh, man. We're trying to bring the heat. I'm in Wisconsin, man. It's starting to get a little chilly, a little cold and rainy up here. But anyways, it is time for Matt Does Vegas. We are
Matt, you're doing it.
He's got these big bets lined up and ready to go. How we doing, Matt?
I'm doing well. How y'all doing?
Good. Not too bad. How about yourself? What's going down with you?
Oh, just trying to figure out bowl season. Who's going where, who's playing, who's not playing. It's quite hectic.
It was the Bellagio again?
When you got a good thing going, you stick with it, man.
You've been timing those flights right. You've been landing right on time.
When you fly a lot, you got that advantage as well. So,
damn, you must have someone that gives you buddy passes or some shit like that.
I think we know a few people.
All right, just got in from Vegas, landed, didn't even say hi to his wife and kids, and is just like joining us, right?
I got my
give us an update, man. Giving us state understandings. How we doing? How we doing so far?
Yeah, pretty mediocre. I'll be honest with you all. And in fact, I did update the standings. I always like to send it to the boys earlier in the day. Things. There is 2 more games played based on since after I sent it to you all, so it'll be a little off from what you're seeing. I went 9-9 last week, and I will say by last week that is leading up to the result of the Oklahoma-Arizona game, which we do not know, so that is not part of these standings. But every game prior to that is part of that. So me going 9-9, I'm 12-14 on the bowl season. AJ, you went 7-11 last week, 11-15 in bowl season. Beve, 11-7. 14-12 in bowl season. So you're the only one above 500 right now. How are you feeling?
Hey, man, I knew it was going to happen eventually. I always come back.
It does. That cream rises to the top.
Hey, I did it during the regular season. I can do it during bowl season.
All right, let's see.
Bowl season's just a lot harder.
Let's see if we can get on top of Beve for a change. We gotta reel him in, Matt. We gotta reel him in.
My wife says the same thing.
She's gotta reel you in or get on top. Which one?
Get on top.
just gotta clarify there. But anyways, good year. Cotton Bowl, Ohio State and Missouri. Matt, bring these big bets for the Backers. What you got?
Yeah, so you saw the spread. It started out -2.5. You've seen Ohio State now at -3.5. And these are pretty much as of a few hours ago. Over-under started at 49. It's only dropped slightly to 48.5. That drop actually has been relatively recent, and I say that because when you see these bowl games, and now we're getting to the point where these lines have been out for 2+ weeks, you're actually starting to see kind of a tale of 2 weeks in different betting strategies. And I say that because if you actually look at about the first 10 or 12 days, you were seeing about 67% of the cash going to the over. You've kind of seen that shift a little recently. Throughout the last 2 weeks, though, you've seen it pretty steady, about 52% of the cash going to Missouri, which is a little bit surprising. I think that's because when you talk about larger fan bases, Ohio State, Alabama, Texas, a few others, you'll see a lot of tickets going to those big fan bases. But if you look at the cash, it's a little bit different. So the tickets may be causing that spread to go up a little bit with Ohio State. I think they've got some unknowns still about who could be playing there. In a game like this, the spread just kind of scares me. I don't know what you're going to get out of Ohio State this year, out of Devin Brown. I look at that over and I say, okay, I think these two teams are going to have a little bit of fun. I see a little bit of scoring, 48.5. To me, not impossible. So I'd be leaning with the over. But how about you, AJ? Where are you going?
I want to take the Buckeyes to cover, man. I think Devin Brown balls out. They win by 7. And then
how about you, Beve?
Do I have to actually put money down on this? Because I usually don't bet on the Buckeyes at all.
I never do, so I can understand that, man. But no, you do not have to put money on it, but I do need a pick.
All right. Lay the points. Give me the Buckeyes.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right, let's move on. Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. We got Clemson versus Kentucky.
Clemson started out at -7.5. You've seen that drop to -4.5. So 3-point shift there over the last few weeks. Over-under started at 48.5. You've seen that drop to 44.5. So there's a 4-point difference there. I'm not a huge fan of 4.5 spreads. I just don't like that hook again when you're doing touchdown field goal. However, if you really look at Clemson versus Kentucky kind of going down the stretch, and again, I know that's not good during bowl season, but it's really all I have at this point. Clemson was playing pretty well as they were finishing out the year. Kentucky went 2-5 towards the end, so kind of a little bit fake after starting out 5-0, went 2-5 at the end. I think Clemson is just playing more consistent, and because of that, if you could get -4, I'd be laying the points and taking Clemson. I know we have it at 4.5 here for our betting, for our standings purposes. So with that being said, I'll take Clemson. But how about you, Beef?
Clemson has wide receiver Bo Collins out, safety Andrew Makuba, a linebacker, which leads the team in tackles and sacks, a cornerback Nate Wiggins, and a D lineman out for the game. Kentucky has one edge player. Give me Kentucky.
Give you Kentucky.
How about you, AJ?
I'm taking Clemson to cover, man. Usually I like to play the over and unders, but I think Clemson to cover is my thing. They started getting hot down the stretch. I think they continue that.
I agree.
That hotness was from their defense, who is ranked at number 20 in total defense, and their entire defense is out.
All right, next up, we got Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. We have the Pop-Tart Bowl. We got Tony the Tiger, man. Breakfast is taken care of this bowl season. Don't you worry about it. But we got Oregon State versus Notre Dame.
So Notre Dame started out at -10.5. You've seen that drop the last 2 weeks to -6.5. Over-under started at 46.5. That has plummeted to 41.5. And you all talked about it 5-10 minutes ago, you hit the nail on the head. Nobody's playing in this game. I'm pretty sure Jamie's going to be suiting up for one of these teams at one point. I have no idea who's playing. You got a third-string quarterback for Oregon State, second string with Notre Dame. We could list all the positions that are out. I look at a game like this, and I say –
we don't have time for that.
No, we're not going to. I'm not going to rehash it. But you saw 46.5 drop to 41.5. You've seen 85% of the cash the last 2 weeks going to the under. This seems almost, when it's too good to be true, I get a little nervous, but screw it. I'm going under. How about you all? How about you, AJ?
Oh, man. Let's go. Give me the under as well.
And you, Beve.
I got to do it. Give me the over.
I almost wanted to do it, man. It's a scary one. Jamie says put him in. He's ready. All right, we have the Auto Zone. Get in the zone. Liberty Bowl. We got Memphis versus Iowa State.
Iowa State started out at -6.5. That has jumped all the way up to -10.5. However, the over-under, which I think is the best play here, it started at 57.5 and it has stayed at 57.5 throughout the year. Memphis, 7th in the nation in points scoring. Again, take all this with a grain of salt, transfer portal. I'm not going to dive into every position that's out everywhere. But I do want to point out that they've been scoring a ton of points. They're 97th in points against allowed. So they score a ton. They give up a ton. Iowa State's just kind of average around both of those as well, too. I look at a game like this and I say it's an atrocious Memphis defense. They like to fling it around a little on offense. I like the over here, but how about you, Beve?
There's not many players out in this game. There's 2 offensive linemen for Memphis, and the 2 top rushers for Iowa State are out. So I'm going to go with that under.
And you, AJ?
Man, I'm kind of tossed on this one. I think the over and under is right where they should be. That's why they haven't moved it. I think the non-Power 5 or Group of 5, whatever you want to call them, hasn't played very well against these Power 5 teams so far this bowl season. I don't think they put up their points that they're supposed to, so I'll take the under.
All right.
And then we have one of my favorite places to enjoy a chicken sandwich, the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Ole Miss versus Penn State.
So Penn State started out at -4. That has just crept up a little bit to -4.5. Over under, it started at 49.5. You've seen that drop slightly to 48.5. What you saw quite a bit, and again, this is early money, was the sharps were real big on that -4 Penn State. That's why you saw it go up to 4.5. You saw the sharps pull away, and you've seen it stay there. However, very early on as well, too, you saw 80% of the cash go on the over. I'm not so sure about that one. And again, if you start breaking down Ole Miss a little bit further, when they play a really good defense, Alabama, Georgia, they don't put up a lot of points. They do against all the other teams, but they don't against those really good defenses. Penn State's third in the nation in points against allowed, again, transfer portal, et cetera, et cetera. I look at this and I say, man, I really like that -4 if I can get it. However, I'm stuck at 4.5. So I'd actually say lay the points and give me the Nittany Lions. But how about you, Beve?
Go in the under.
And you, AJ?
I think I'm going to take Ole Miss to cover, man.
Right.
We have the.
I was there. I was leaning that way, AJ. I don't know, man. Whew.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Tough one. We got the music.
All I know is everyone just follow my picks because I'm going to win this anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Apparently you're the one to follow. This is true. Regular season and now the bowl season. But anyways, Music City Bowl. We got another SEC Big Ten matchup. We got Auburn versus Maryland.
Don't follow me on this one, man, because I have no idea what to think of this game.
Yeah, I'm going to tell y'all, this one is probably the toughest one on the board. The money is all over the place, and you're going to kind of see that as we dig into it. Auburn started out at -2. You've seen that jump to -6.5. Over under started at 48.5. You've seen that drop to 47.5. I don't really know a ton of what's causing that 4.5 jump.
No opt-outs. They have 0 people opting out.
Yeah, again, in Maryland, I'm not.
Maryland has everyone.
Well, I've never been on the Maryland wagon at all this season. Until they do it, I don't believe it. And Auburn, again, they've had a couple tough games down the stretch. Hugh Freeze gets a turnaround there. 6.5 is a lot. However, I do like to follow the money when I don't have a read. So I'd be laying the points and give me the Tigers. But how about you, AJ?
I am actually going to take the under in this game. Auburn loves to run the football. That's going to eat up some clock. I think without Talua, Maryland's going to try to run the ball. That's going to eat up some clock. So I think the under. That's my play.
And how about you, Beve?
Oh, man. Give me Auburn. Lay the points. No. I got Maryland. Even though they got everyone out.
He said not so fast, my friend, to himself. That's kind of great.
I did. I love to do that.
We got the Capital One Orange Bowl, a game we all would have been loving 4 weeks ago. But anyways, Georgia versus Florida State.
So no surprise here, Georgia minus 14.5 to start. You've seen that jump to 19.5. Again, anyone wants to know why that is, go rewind this podcast 20 minutes. You'll hear exactly why. Everybody laid it out perfectly. Nobody's playing for Florida State. Over-under started at 45.5. It's dropped modestly to 44.5. I get a little worried about that 44.5, and I'm not trying to be funny. I think Georgia could cover that on their own, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And it's a little bit scary with that regard. But let's see where the cash is going. 83% of the cash over the last 2+ weeks heading straight to Georgia. 66% of the cash is heading towards that under. That's why you're seeing that creep. I think they're trying to stabilize it. They don't want it to drop too far. I look at a game like this and I say Florida State, I don't know if they have the horses to compete. 19.5 is quite a bit. If it gets to 20, I'd probably be staying away. However, at 19.5, lay the points, give me the Bulldogs. How about you, Beve?
Hey, man, Florida State is playing for that national title, man, that unsung national title. So I got to go with Florida State to lose big to the Dogs.
Yeah, that's like when UCF hung up their national championship banner. It's about the same thing. How about you, AJ?
We're worried about covering. Florida State covering. They ain't going to cover shit, man. They can't even cover a team. They can't even fill a roster right now. There's no way. There's no way. Give me the over because, like you said, Georgia might do that on their own.
I changed my mind. Give me the over. I'm with the over, too.
Hey, Beve, you know I'm typing these out, man. You're killing me.
Yeah. Hey, erase that shit. Make sure you do it on the computer. You're good. You just had to hit like 2 buttons. Do it again.
I know.
We got one of my favorite undercard games. Too bad Finn's in the portal because portals ruin everything. Barstool Sports. Arizona Bowl.
What?
What did you say?
Did you just say that because they're in competition with us? Did you just butcher their name on purpose?
Exactly. They're garbage. Watch us instead. Because we're really on par with them. But anyways, we got Toledo and Wyoming. I love this game, though.
Wyoming?
Wyoming.
Give me them Cowboys.
The Rockets of Toledo, they started out at -1.5. You've seen that favorite shift to the Cowboys of Wyoming at -3.5. And I really think it's Daquan Finn. I mean, he was the catalyst for that Toledo team. So him being in the transfer portal, I think does it. You know, I've been watching Wyoming quite a bit. I still love that 10-10 going in the fourth quarter against Texas. I know they lost by 21, but Wyoming's played some really tough teams. They're battle tested. I think with Toledo not knowing who their backup quarterback is, Coach Kendall could be looking at a lot of different coaching jobs as well. I say lay the points, give me the Cowboys. How about you, AJ?
Oh, man, I wish Finn was playing in this game because I would definitely take Toledo to cover no matter what side of that point spread was on. But with that, give me the Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys.
And you, Beve.
Give me the Cowboys. Give me the Cowgirls. Anything with boots on. Let's do it.
All right, we have the Rilla Quest Bowl, Wisconsin, my Badgers. Here we go on Wisconsin versus LSU.
LSU started out at -10.5. You've only seen a modest drop there to -9.5. over-under started at 55. It's actually risen slightly to 55.5. We all know Daniels isn't playing. We all know LSU's situation. Wisconsin, pretty straightforward what they have going on as well.
A lot of players out.
Yeah, I have absolutely. I'll be honest with you. I have absolutely no feel on this. And the fact when you're looking at the cash, the money's not really doing a whole lot. It's in the low 50s as far as money going to Wisconsin, as far as money going to the over. So I look at a game like this from a betting perspective, stay the heck away from this game. We're going to pick it because it's fun here. We're not going to put any money on it here. It's just for sport.
Yes, you are. We have to.
No, I don't.
Rules are rules.
There's no money being put on these ones, man.
There is. You do it every week. Come on. We do it every week.
No, I actually end up picking different ones than I actually talk about. So, it ends up being real funny. I have to keep getting new intel, new information.
That's why you fly to Vegas.
Yeah. I would stay away from this one. But again, for this segment, we're talking about it. Give me the over. Let's have some fun, Wisconsin. Start scoring something on offense. I want to watch something. But how about you, Beve?
Wisconsin has Braylon Allen out. They have their wide receiver, who they pronounce DK, but it's really Dyke. Get it correct. Skylar Bell, an offensive lineman, a linebacker, a center, and their cornerback out. LSU just has a Heisman Trophy winner out.
No big deal.
No big deal. Give me Wisconsin. I'm Wisconsin.
And how about you, AJ?
Man, oh man. I don't think Wisconsin wins this game. I don't think they can win this game. But if you're going to give them a 9.5 hole, they're going to cover, baby. Badgers to cover.
All right.
We have a future Big Ten team in the game of the century. Oregon versus Liberty.
Oregon started out at minus 16 as of a few hours ago. I've seen it sticking at 16.5. However, some books out there do have that at minus 17. You're seeing people actually leaning Liberty when you get it to minus 17. That's why it keeps dropping back to 16.5. Over-under started at 65. You're seeing that creep up to 66.5. And that's due to the fact that 86% of the cash over the last 2 weeks is going to that over. You're seeing that line going between 16 and 17 because 75% of the cash is going on Oregon as well. This is one where we've kind of talked about. This is a no-win game for Oregon. They win by 35. Nobody cares. They lose. It's embarrassing. There's no good way here. Liberty, this is their Super Bowl of all Super Bowls. They're going to play everything they have into this, pull at every trick play. Think Oklahoma, Boise State, back in the day when Boise State was just trying to build credibility. So I look at a game like this. I stay away from the spread just because I don't know what Liberty's going to do. A backdoor cover here sounds like could happen. I would go very heavy on the over since 86% of the cash is going that way. But how about you, AJ?
Oh man, I'm gonna take the this one's tough, man.
Come on, man, spit it out.
Oh, you'd like me to spit it out.
No, I got a wife for that.
All right, damn, I'm scared. I'm gonna take the over.
Yeah, it's a safe play. How about you, Beve?
I'm gonna take Oregon to cover.
It's quite possible. It is.
I either wanted Oregon to cover or the over because I think Oregon scores a shit ton of points.
Aren't they on their third string quarterback though in Oregon?
No.
Bo Nix is playing.
Oh, he is playing. Okay. Yeah.
Jamie's all over it. Bo Nix is playing. Oregon by 100.
What? Why?
Because Dan Lanning is a coach, man. He talks his players into doing anything. They'd run through a brick wall for him. They'd go for it on fourth down when they shouldn't for him. They do it all the time.
I've seen that live. I believe
they
that.
sure as shit aren't fighting for clicks.
Definitely, they're not fighting. It's definitely not. They're not a clicky program. They're not a clicky program. Anyway, we got the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. We got Iowa and Tennessee. And I already know where I'm going with this game.
Oh, you know it. You mean that 11-2 under for Iowa on this season? I mean, come on, it's just sitting there for us. And I always start with the spreads, but with Iowa, you got to start over and unders. They started at 36.5. That has dropped to 35.5, which in case you haven't been following Iowa this whole year, 35.5 over-under. That is massive. I don't even know how they even view that over in Iowa City. The spread started out -7.5. You've seen that drop slightly to 6.5. You've actually seen a lot of funny movement on that spread the last 2 weeks because people really want that 7 if they can get it. You've seen it bounce up. You've seen it bounce down quite a bit. If you can get Iowa +7, I really like that play. I think Iowa, this is one of those we talk about all time in bowl season, who wants it more, who's going to fight. Iowa's the definition of hard work, heart, fight. They don't have the talent, but they have all those other attributes. If you can get +7, I would really jump on it. Again, for purposes of this segment, we have them at 6.5 today. Take the points. Give me the Hawkeyes. How about you, Beve?
I'm going under. It's easy.
And
bet the house on that.
I'm also taking the under. I already knew it. As soon as I said Iowa, I knew I was taking the under. Then I seen it was 35. I was like, oh, that's a no-brainer. Could have been 24. I still would have took the under.
You could almost half that.
This could be a 10-3 game.
and Tennessee's a running team at that.
Yeah, exactly.
They aren't lighting it up through the air anymore.
Hey,
do we wait? Are we waiting for these playoff semifinals? Are we going to do this on Sunday? Or do it now?
I don't know. What are we doing?
Matt, can we have you back? Are you going to be out of town again? Are you going to be in Vegas? Do you spend the weekends in Vegas too?
I may not be around on Sunday.
All right, let's do it up. Yeah. Let's get these big bets in then.
No, let's save it. Let's save this shit for Sunday. Let's end this show and save this shit so people have to come back and watch us on Sunday.
All right, we're going to bring those big bets. Matt will help us out. We'll have a roster. Maybe we'll make his picks for him. He can let us know. We'll set him up real nice. Real nice. We'll make good picks for him. No, Matt?
No, that works for me. That's fine. I give you all the numbers. You do with it as you will. So
let's hit a few more
comments. Better work for
here.
you. You're the big baller, so you just agree with everything, right?
I do. I'm pretty good with the flow.
Let's get to them questions. You got some more?
Go. We don't have any questions. I just want to talk about this comment. Chris says, I will win straight out. I think they have more to play for. Kirk retires and Hawks send him out a winner. That would be a good way to do it. And then TJ, go Big Orange. We've seen that one. Of course, he's an Orange fan. Chris also says, if Oregon D is that good, they should be able to limit Liberty's offense. He would take the under. It's probably a good call. And then TJ says, great show, guys. Merry New Year. Merry New Year, TJ. That does it for the show. Beve, get us on out of here. Matt, as always, love you, man. Appreciate it. It's always good to talk ball with you and talk about these big bets.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Hey, y'all. Matt, thanks for joining us, man. I know you didn't have time to say hello to that family, so go say hello to the family. Thanks for coming again. Getting jet lag, coming on the show straight from Vegas, where he goes and makes all his decisions on these picks, man. Thank you all, Big Ten backers. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. And remember, follow, like, share, and come on Sunday because we're going to have a playoff special, baby. We're going to do a deep dive, have some film breakdown and everything. All right, y'all. God bless. Take care. Have a happy New Year.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. Our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference. Our team store, where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only. Our podcast page, where you can see when one of the 12-plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media. Our subscription page, where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoyed any College Football Dogs